Let's play darts. Honestly, this happened yesterday. Thank you for coming again, or for the first time. That's better. Look at that. What happens there? First one. Anyway, I do a little 5-minute practice before I come on here. So that's not me cold. I just went round the clock. Ooh. I got so much good feedback yesterday. I can't believe it. If I'm honest, really grateful for everybody who actually messaged about hints and tips. I got a lot of people messaging saying they're in the same boat as me. So I will tell you what I got from it. I mean, that is as good as, if you look at that one, that's as good as you're going to see from me. That is, even though it's a 60, look at that. I'm really pleased with that. I'm not really worried about scores at the moment, just those groupings, etc. People said lots of things to me yesterday about, the different things, all completely true, to be fair. For example, too much body movement. So I'm just trying to concentrate on just throwing, keeping my elbow where it is, and that. And I mean, so far, a little bit better than yesterday. People commented around, there's some great messages. A guy called Adam and my friend Dan. They both spoke about the darts, about perhaps I'm throwing them too hard. And I agree with that, totally. I felt since the start I was throwing them too hard. But what are you meant to do? Are you meant to do? Who else mentioned? Steve as well, I think. Mentioned perhaps having heavier darts. Could somebody explain to me how that makes sense? Because I thought if you are throwing them too hard, perhaps you want lighter darts so they don't go in as much. But from what I've gathered, you actually want heavier darts, and I guess that is that to make, so like they do the work. I don't know. You explain to me because I'm not that. I'm a bit clueless, to be honest. So yeah, already I feel like I'm, even since yesterday, a little bit better, a little bit more consistent, because I'm taking my time, a little bit of patience between each throw instead of firing them off MVG style. But what I'm going to do is I am going to experiment with some darts. So I actually mentioned my friend Adam earlier, and he's got really light ones. He's got 16 grams. I didn't even know they went that low, but so he's going to let me see some light ones. But clearly, based on what we just spoke about, I need some heavier ones. My friend Molly, he's coming around to play with me, play darts with me. Just clarify that, Molly. He's a boy. It could be slightly different if he was a girl, but nonetheless, he's coming around tomorrow, and his brother's got a pair of darts. He bought them last time, and they were much heavier. I don't know what the weight was. I don't think he even knew. But I'm going to give them a practice and see if I can get a bit of improvement with a heavier dart. Yeah, I was a little bit late today. I wanted to get this done a little earlier, but I had to do my fantasy football team, almost forgot, and I'm having a dreadful season. So I took out Watkins, he's injured. Brought in Ivan Toney. World-class players, Ivan Toney, and I hate Brentford. So for me to say that means that it's I had to swallow a bit of pride there. So I am a Fulham fan. For my sins. What else am I working on? What else did people say? Well, I got a lot of people who said too much movement in my action. So the head popping up, the chest. and just solely focusing on that on just letting that forearm do all the work. I mean, I've done it there at terrible darts. And I guess that is what it takes, though, is that sometimes you have to put these slight changes into your game, and you're probably going to suffer a little bit for a short period of time. And they say, don't they, where once you start getting better, your averages actually drop a little bit. If you find yourself hitting 26s a lot more than perhaps the 12 and the 18 either side of that, and it actually possibly means that you're getting better because you're starting to group them, but not quite all in the 20 like you'd want. A bit like that. Look at that, right on cue. Not quite a 26, but a 30. So yeah, I'm just focusing on that movement. Is trying not to move as much, and also not trying to throw as hard. Like there, that's a nice grouping. It's only a 40 there, but I do like that when I can get a bit of grouping like that. But yeah, one thing I've noticed, having sort of really put myself into the community a little bit on Reddit and Facebook, have some really good groups. Everyone's been so helpful. And I guess a lot of it is because you're all sick of seeing people put up 180 posts. That's all I see. You see every day, really. Somebody's done their first 180, like 15 months old or something. So I guess this is a little bit different. But what I've had is so many people say, "Oh wow, you're a beginner. I'm a beginner." This is quite interesting because it's helpful to, all the tips I'm picking up from people are tips that everyone can use if you're having the same problem. And I spoke to a few people about that. I had some comments on the channel as well about that. I think from a guy called Chris messaged about that as well. There's a guy called Adam, someone else as well, where they're just like, well, we've just started as well, so this is quite useful. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one finding this beneficial, because I feel already I'm a little bit better just from some of the things people have said. So who saw the German Open final last night? I caught up with the highlights. I mean, Luke Humphreys, my goodness, the man's a machine. That's the best way I can describe his style. Unlike an MVG who can just blow people away in 5 or 6 legs, and hit red hot form. Humphreys just seems so consistent, and even when he misses those big shots, he's never ever far off. You always feel that you've got to really be. If you don't turn up against him, you're done, aren't you? Like that. Who else impressive? MVG looked better last night, coming back into form. He's probably a bit disappointed with how he's been so far this year, and he looked good. Thought Gerwin Price, especially in the early rounds, if he can just start hitting those doubles again, he looked absolutely electric on the 180s this week, I thought. Who else did well? Schindler and his home tournament. He was good. I saw some really funny posts. Somebody highlighted and did a photo and then circled his hand, and she said Schindler's fist. Very good. Very impressed with that one. Whoever came up with that. Look at that. That's terrible. So what else did people say? My camera angle is not great. And to be honest with you, I'm not the best of YouTube editors because I've never done this before. So the editing is limited. I have made the angle a little bit better. And I think what I'm going to do is perhaps I'm going to move, maybe in a little bit, I'll just change the angle slightly so you can really see my throw, because you really want to see my follow through if you're going to try and give me advice. So let's try that. Oh dear. Now I'm really trying to follow through there, and the dart's going all over the place. But one piece of advice, if I can only, don't come to me for advice on darts, for goodness sake, look at these. I mean, look, that was nowhere near where it was going to go. But what I will give you, if any beginners out there want something, the first few weeks of me playing, I felt like I had an alien hand. I felt I had an alien's hand when I was throwing. And what I mean is, I felt like it wasn't my hand. And I just felt like every time I was throwing it, even when I was getting good shot, it just didn't feel right. And what's happened is, it's better, just over time of practicing, you just get into, you find a bit of a groove. You find yourself finding what you should and shouldn't be doing a little bit. So, and it just takes darts, doesn't it? Just throwing, and being consistent. Because that's the main bit of advice I think anyone can give anyone when it comes to darts. You've got to be consistent, and I suppose that's true for any sport. Like that triple 12 there today. But yeah, so if you these darts I'm throwing today are not bad, if I'm honest. I've certainly thrown worse, so you guys are my lucky charm. And I think what I'm doing slightly different from yesterday is I'm just taking my time. My pace is slowing down. People gave me some great advice on that. And I think that's where I struggle, is rhythm. Sometimes I'll be just throwing them. And sometimes I'm much better when I'm taking my time. So I'm trying to do that a little bit more. Oh, let's try that again. And then perhaps maybe throw some darts around the board. I wasn't trying to get one that time, but if I'm honest. Oh. Okay. What shall we do? Let's go around the clock quickly. Shall we go around the clock? I don't know. That'd be good. What is the best training games people have got? What any training games people find? I think the best thing with training games, having just dipped my toe in, you want something that is quite fun. So you're consistently doing it. And round the clock is always fun. Let's do round the clock. Look at that. Oh dear. I thought round the clock was maybe fun. Better. I mean, I know round the clock is a bit basic for a lot of you more experienced players, but I can't tell you how much better I am at this than I was a month ago. And I guess I do round the clock at least once a day. Well, I don't really do it more than once a day, to be fair. Although I will try and do round the clock on doubles after I've done the singles. And yes, that takes me quite a long time with if I'm having a good day, if I'm having a fairly solid day, about 10% checkout rate. But I have hit a little bit higher, and I've definitely hit lower. So what am I on? Did anyone see what was on then? 6? Not sure. Let's go for 6. I don't think Russ Bray is here keeping an eye on things. Unless you're watching Russ, of course. And if you are, you'll be impressed with that 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so any other games that you can play? There's loads of good YouTube videos. I mentioned this yesterday for games and stuff. Oh dear. And really good YouTubers out there. I need to, next time I'll get some names, because I do want to recommend them, because they put in some good actual work that beginners like me really appreciate. The other problem about this round the clock business, I forgot what number I'm bloody on. What am I on? 11? 8? I feel like I'm shaking today. So I guess one thing, if we're talking about performance enhancing drugs, if I want to really take my game to the next level, I had a coffee an hour ago, which is far too late. Went to Costa Coffee and I really pushed out the boat today. I had an iced latte, and I think I'm jittery. Am I on 12? See, look, this is a problem. I'm probably all over the place. I'm probably on like 8 or something. Yeah, a little jittery today, so a bit shaky. Maybe it's nerves. I mean, that must be awful, isn't it? If you get the shakes, that's game over, isn't it? Oh, 2 in there. 15. So yeah, any other advice on that? Training games would be good, but you see that bit rushed there. You've really got to, because with training, I guess you can become a little bit lax with it and a little bit lazy with it. You know, start throwing them without concentrating, and I guess every shot you want to be taking, like as if it's for the world title. Because I suppose that's how you get consistent, is by being consistent. I don't know what I'm talking about really, how do I? Lovely. Oh dear. Okay, I guess we should finish on bull after this 20. Ooh la la. Okay, let's do. Oh. Okay. Oh, that was meant to be on the bull there. I think anyone who did watch yesterday, I did say bull. I really struggle on bull. Somebody recommended just spending time trying to hit bull, not just because you get better at hitting bull. It does help your all round accuracy, I'm told. But I'd like to hear if that was the case. Drag that a little bit. Unlucky Samson. So I'm going to at this point I'll change the angle of the video so you can see my follow through a little bit. Having said that, it might not look like that because my video editing skills, as I said, is somewhat limited. Bit similar to my darts, not very good. All right, let's go for bull again. Okay, so I am actually trying to follow through now, and I'm thinking about it. So perhaps maybe I'll just throw some darts without thinking about it as much. I don't think that's actually possible because I'm talking about it, so of course I'm thinking about it. But let's try that anyway. No, I'm thinking about it too much. And now look, what I think that if you think, it's game over. Too much thinking. Okay, let's give this a few more and then I'll let you go because you're no patient with me. Are you going to hang around till I get bull? I feel sorry for you if you do, but I will throw until I hit it because that wouldn't be cricket. Not even getting that close, am I? Oh dear. So yeah, midweek football tonight should be good. Ooh, let's just get that on. Oh. Yeah, midweek football's always appreciated. Premier League stuff. Champions League's okay, but I much prefer domestic stuff, if I'm honest. Ooh, I'm probably in the minority with that. Yeah, this as you can see, I really do struggle on this bull. Oh dear, let's keep going. Never give up, as they say. The best advice anyone can give you is never give up, unless it makes sense to you. Closer. So I don't mind that because it's consistent, but I would have liked to have got this ball by now. Closer. Quite happy with this throwing though, this little bit of consistency around the groupings. Oh la la, monsieur. Oh, goodness me. And closer. So yeah, I've got a friend coming over, Molly, tomorrow. Play some darts in the evening. Have a little match. And in fact, funnily enough, when we did a game, he came round with my friend Ben about a month ago, and we played, and we were like, let's play round the clock and finish on ball. We were so bad, we couldn't do that in about 3 hours. Now, there was a lot of alcohol consumed, but I don't want to give too many excuses. But we actually had to we finished the game with no winner. Because what we did after that, because we couldn't hit bull and we were getting a bit bored about how bad we were, we switched to we did a 501 game down finish on a double, of course, and we couldn't even do that either. So after about 4 hours of playing, we had no winner. Feels like this is how I feel now. And what we did was we had a little trophy for the winner, which was a coconut, and it's still here, not because I won, but because nobody won. So perhaps maybe it's fitting that we finish on that point, that nobody wins. I don't win today on this bull. We've won 3 more darts. Pressure's on for the championship. Oh, well, there you go. Game over. It's a good symbol of my current state, really, of just not being good enough yet. But we will keep going. Keep going. Thank you.